जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरदारी गिरिवरदारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजना जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे हरे जयो जगन्नाथ बलदेवा मैया सुभद्रा Jayo Gauranitai, 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 Jayo Gauranitai. Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jayo Guru Deva. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Hari Naam Sankirtan ki jai. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtatadeshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhashta Kripa Sindhubheva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you all for a weekly Gita class. So we have been discussing the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So last time we discussed the 2 most important verses of this chapter and of the entire Gita, verse number 7 and 8. So text 7 is the very famous verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata Abhyutanam Adharmasya Tadatmana Srijamiham. Here Krishna says, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So we discussed this verse also, and we discussed text number 8 also, which is also a very famous verse. Paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So here Krishna says, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So this is also a very famous verse. And in both these verses, Krishna explains the reasons for the avatars. The first reason is to protect the devotees. Second is to annihilate the miscreants. And the third is to re-establish dharma. We also discussed that of all the 3, the first is the most important. Krishna comes in his various avatars to give protection to the devotees. Prahlad Lad Daine, to give happiness to Prahlad Maharaj and all the devotees. Killing Hiranyakashipu is a side business, but the most important business is to give happiness to Prahlad Maharaj. Similarly, Krishna comes to give happiness to the Vrajvasis, to perform Leela and Vrindavan, and killing the demons happen as a side business. And the Lord also descends to re-establish dharma. So dharma means the process of bhakti, the process in which we can connect back to God. So Krishna as the Supreme Lord feels compassion when he sees that all of us as his children, we are away from him, suffering in this world. The Lord feels compassionate and he comes again to give us the process of dharma. So the avatar of the Lord is actually the most compassionate nature of the Lord. The Lord is coming in this most compassionate feature. So we discussed that in this purport, Srila Prabhupada explains various kinds of avatars. We had, just 1 minute. So we had, you all can't see my video. Is my video off? Param Dayalu Guru?
Yes, Prabhuji.
My video is off. My video is on. But my video is on.
Now okay, Prabhuji.
Now okay?
Okay.
Okay. So instead of putting message in the chat box now, just unmute and speak, because many times I don't see the chat box. Okay. So last time we discussed the various kinds of avatars. We just touched upon this topic: Purusha avatar, Guna avatar, Leela avatar, Shaktavesh avatar, Manvantar. So I thought I'll do this presentation, which will give a little more clarity on the various kinds of avatars. So this science of the avatars is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Lord Chaitanya is giving the teachings to Sanatan Goswami, he explains the various categories of avatars. See, in the land of India, we all have an idea of only Dashavatar. No one has heard anything beyond it. Only in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will find reference to the various categories of avatars. So here, the first category of avatar is called Purusha avatar. So these are the various categories of avatars: Purusha avatar, Leela avatar, Manvantar, Guna avatar, Shaktavesh avatar, Yuga avatar, and Channa avatar. So these are the various categories of avatars. So we will see what these categories are. Okay. So the first is the Purusha avatar. So Purusha avatar refers to the 3 types of Vishnu. So this is also something that is commonly not understood. Our understanding of Vishnu is one, but the Bhagavatam and the scriptures explain 3 types of Vishnu, 3 forms of Vishnu. The first is called Mahavishnu or GARBHODAKSHAYI Vishnu. Sorry, Karanodakshai Vishnu, right? So he lies in the Karana Sagar. It's called the causal ocean. And Mahavishnu, when he breathes out, from his every pore, a universe comes out. So this is called Mahavishnu or Karanodakshai Vishnu. Shai means sleeping, and Karanodakshai means one who is sleeping on the Karana Sagar. Karanodakshai Vishnu. Then there is GARBHODAKSHAI Vishnu. So Mahavishnu, when he breathes out, from every pore, there is one universe that comes. And this universe in the form of an egg. Therefore, it is called Brahmanda. So now within every universe, that Mahavishnu expands himself as GARBHODAKSHAI Vishnu. And half of the universe is filled with the sweat of GARBHODAKSHAI Vishnu. And he lies down on that sweat, and that is called GARBHODAK Sagar. And because he is lying down on the ocean called Garbhodak, he is called GARBHODAKSHAYI Vishnu, right? And Lakshmi ji is massaging Lord Vishnu's feet here. And from the navel of this Vishnu, in every Brahmanda, so in every universe, there is one GARBHODAKSHAYI Vishnu. And from his navel, Lord Brahma comes, right? So this is the second type of Purusha avatar. Okay? And the third category of Purusha avatar is called Shirodakshayi Vishnu. So after entering into each universe, the Lord expands himself further into each and every atom, into each and everyone's heart as the Paramatma. This is called Shirodakshayi Vishnu. This is the Paramatma feature, the all-pervading super soul. So these are the 3 features of Vishnu, and all these 3 features of Vishnu fall under the category of Purusha avatar. So Purusha means the original person. So these are the three original personalities: Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay Vishnu. Then there is Leela avatar. So Leela avatar means when the Lord comes to perform various kinds of pastimes. Okay. So Jaidev Goswami in his Dashavatar Stotra, he explains 10 Leela avatars. So we will sing this song and then we will see the explanation of each of these avatars. These are the avatars that we are very commonly aware of. Just a second. Yeah. So I'll try to sing it. I don't know how you're going to follow online, but you all can try to follow. Just 1 minute. Huh? Okay, so this is by Jaidev Goswami. This is from his song Geet Govinda. So little difficult Sanskrit, but very beautiful song. Pralaya payodi jale drisavana shivedam vihita vahitra charitam akedam keshavadruta meena sharira jaya jagadish hare. Pralaya payodi jale dritavana shivedam vihita vahitra charitam akedam keshavadruta meena sharira jaya jagadish hare. So we will sing the entire song and then we'll go back to the explanation of it. Shitiriha vipula tare tishtati tava prishte dharani dharana kina chakra garishte keshavadruta kurma sharira jaya jagadish hare. Shitiriha vipula tare tishtati tava prishte dharani dharana kina chakra garishte keshavadruta kurma sharira jaya jagadish hare. Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna keshavadruta shugada rupa jaya jagadish hare. Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna keshavadruta shugara rupa jagadish hare. Tava kara kamala vare nakam adbhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bringam keshavadruta narahari rupa jaya jagadish hare. Tava kara kamala vare nakam adbhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bringam keshavadruta narahari rupa jaya jagadish hare. Chalayasi vikramane balim adbhuta vamana padanaka nirajanita jana pavana keshavadruta vamana rupa jaya jagadish hare. Chalayasi vikramane balim adbhuta vamana padanaka nirajanita jana pavana keshavadruta vamana rupa jaya jagadish hare. Kshatriya rudira maye jagat apagata papam snapayasi payasi shamita bhavatapam keshavadruta bhrugupati rupa jaya jagadish hare. Kshatriya rudira maye jagat apagata papam snapayi paisa shamita bhavatapam keshavadruta bhrugupati rupa jaya jagadish hare. वितरसि दिक्षुरने दिक्पति कमनीयं दशमुखमौलिं बलिं रमणीयं केशवधृता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे। वितरसि दिक्षुरने दिक्पति कमनीयं दशमुखमौलिं बलिं रमणीयं केशवधृता राम शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे। वह शिवपुषि विशदे वसनं जलधाबं हलहति बीतमिलित यमुनाबं केशवधृता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे। वह शिवपुषि विशदे वसनं जलधाबं हलहति बीतमिलित यमुनाबं केशवधृता हलधर रूपा जय जगदीश हरे। निंदति सदय दर्शित पशुघातम केशवधृता बुद्ध शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे। निंदासि यज्ञ विधेरः श्रुति जातम सदय हृदय दर्शित पशुघातम केशवधृता बुद्ध शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे। म्लेच्छ निवह निधने कलयसि करवालम धूमकेतुमिव किम अपि करालम केशवधृता कल्कि शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे। म्लेच्छ निवह निधने कलयसि करवालम धूमकेतुमिव किम अपि करालम केशवधृता कल्कि शरीरा जय जगदीश हरे। श्री जय देव कवेरिदम उदितमुदारम शृणु सुखदम शुभदम भवसारम केशवधृता दशविध रूपा जय जगदीश हरे। श्री जय देव कवेरिदम उदितमुदारम शृणु सुखदम शुभदम भवसारम केशवधृता दशविध रूपा जय जगदीश हरे। केशवधृता दशविध रूपा जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे। So these are the this is the Dashavata Stotra by Jaidev Goswami. So very beautiful song in which he explains the 10 avatars. So the first is the Matsya avatar. Pralaya payodi jale dattavan ashivedam vihita vahitra charitam akedam keshava dhrita meena sharira jaya jagadisha hare. So the Lord appears in various forms, not only human forms. The Lord appears in various forms in various species so that he can attract everyone's heart. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that when the Lord comes as Krishna or Ram, the humans get attracted to him. Very relatable. Similarly, when the Lord comes as Matsya, he's showing mercy to all the aquatics. All the aquatics get attracted to him. So Jaidev Goswami explains, O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a fish, all glory is to you. You acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish to give protection to the Vedas. So it is explained that one time, two demons, Madhu and Kaitap, they had stolen the Vedas away. And the Lord comes as Matsya to save the Vedas. So this is the Matsya avatar. Correct? And then you have Kurmadev. The Lord also comes as a tortoise. Shitiriha vipulatare tishtati tava prishte dharani dharana kina chakra garishte keshava dhrita kurma sharira jaya jagadisha hare. So Kurmadev appears when there is Samudra Manthan Leela. So actually this one Leela is very, very interesting, Samudra Manthan Leela, because in this one particular pastime, there are so many avatars of the Lord that comes. Kurmadev, Mohini Murti, so many avatars. So when the demons and the demigods agreed to churn the ocean of milk, and they needed, uh, they initially got this Mandara mountain as the churning rod. But what was happening is, because they were churning with such pressure, the mountain was sinking into the base of the ocean. So the Lord comes as Kurmadev, and he keeps the mountain on his body, on his back, because the back of a tortoise is very, very strong, right? So he places the Mandara mountain on his back, and then the demons and demigods are churning. And how does the Lord feel? The Mandara mountain is like the most powerful entity in the universe, but the Lord feels as if someone is scratching his body. That is the only sensation that he has. He's very happy about it. Generally, when you have itch in the back, when someone scratches it, you feel nice. So the Lord started to feel nice because the demons and demigods are scratching his back. So this is Kurmadev. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's one of our great predecessor Acharya, he gave his son Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, when he was like 7 years old, a deity of Kurmadev. So devotees can worship Kurmadev because Kurmadev gives stability. So to perform bhakti, we need stability, right? We need to balance out various aspects. So Kurmadev can give stability in life. The next avatar is Varahadev. Vasati dashana shikare dharani tava lagna shashini kalanka kaleva nimagna keshava dhrita shukara rupa jaya jagadisha hare. So Shukara means basically a boar. So the Lord appears as a boar also. So generally a boar or a pig is not considered a very pure animal. But when the Lord appeared as Varahadev, so it is explained that he comes from the nose of Brahmaji. Because at one point, Hiranyaksha, the brother of Hiranyakashipu, he had removed so much gold from the earth that the earth started to lose its orbit and fell into the Garbhodakshayai, right? And Varahadev comes and lifts the earth. So this is very beautiful avatar of Varahadev, where he comes and restores the earth. So it is explained here that it appears that the earth is become like the moon on the tusk of Varahadev. He looks very beautiful with this. And the Bhagavatam explains that generally boars, if you all have observed, boar when they enter into muddy water, when they come out, they start to shake their body. They generally shake their body, and all that muddy, kichad is just thrown everywhere. But when Varahadev goes into the Garbhodakshayai, and when he comes out, he also starts to shake his body, and from his hair, from the hairs on his body, water is sprinkled, and all the sadhus, the saints who are there, when that sprinkle reaches them, they go in great bliss, because this is the mercy of the Lord. This is actually directly the coming from the body of the Lord. So he is in great happiness. So this is the avatar of Varahadev. The next is Narsimhadev. So we all know this very famous prayer, like we sing during our Narsingha Arati. Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanubhringam Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hari. So Hiranyakashipu, so the first avatar before this, Varahadev, killed the brother of Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. Now the Lord takes avatar again to kill Hiranyakashipu. And he comes from the pillar, very extraordinary way, Narsimhadev, and he, with his nails, he tears open the chest of Hiranyakashipu and he kills him. So this is a glorious avatar of Narsimhadev. Then there is the avatar of Vamanadev. Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana Padanaka Nirajanita Jana Pavana Keshava Dhrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana. So this is a Batu. Vamana means a dwarf Brahmana, a short Brahmana. All glories to you. Even though he was very short, he was Batu, he cheated Bali Maharaj. So here it says, Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Adbhuta Vamana. So Vamandev did Chala. Chalayasi means he cheated Bali. So he comes in the form of a small Brahmana, a dwarf Brahmana, and he tells Bali Maharaj, I want charity. And Bali Maharaj says, "Theek hai, What will this boy ask? How much charity will ask? So Bali is asking Vamandev, what do you want? He says, give me 3 steps of land. That's all. Bali is saying, Arey, think properly. This is a one-time opportunity for you. Ask something greater. Vamandev says, no, as Brahmana, I should be very satisfied. So 3 steps of land is enough. And Bali says, okay, take it. And Vamandev becomes so big. Adbhuta Vamana becomes so huge. In South India, there is a place called Kanchipuram. And in Kanchipuram, there is one deity of Vamandev, very huge deity. Right? One leg is down, the other leg is on top. Right? So Vamandev assumes this huge form, suddenly grows so big. And with one leg only, he covers the entire universe. That is the power of Vamandev's leg. And it is explained that from the toe of Vamandev, when it pierces the covering of the universe, the Karana Sagar comes down, washing his feet and becomes Ganga. So in this way, Jayadev Goswami is offering obeisances to Vamandev, who deceived Bali Maharaj and also bought the Ganges. So something interesting is, even though he cheated Bali, but actually he showed great mercy to Bali Maharaj. He gave Bali a permanent loka called Sutal Loka, and Vamandev becomes the security guard for Bali Maharaj. So this is the very beautiful avatar of Vamandev. And then Parshuram, Kshatriya Rudira Maye Jagat Apagata Papam, Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam, Keshava Dhruta Bhrugupati Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Bhrugupati Parshuram, all glories to you. At Kurukshetra, you bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demonic Kshatriyas that you slain. The sins of the world are washed away by you, and because of you, people are relieved from the blazing fire of material existence. So Parshuram is like the angry young man, right? So Parshuram is actually a son of a Brahmana. But then it so happens that the Kshatriyas at that time started to get too proud about their power. So Parshuram decided to teach all of them a lesson. So there was this very powerful Kshatriya king whose name was Kartivirya Arjun. So he comes and kills the father of Parshuram. And Parshuram becomes so angry, he starts his killing from him. He goes and kills Kartivirya Arjun, all his sons, and he goes around the earth 21 times. And he kills all the Kshatriyas. And it is explained that when Parshuram is massively killing, there is rivers of blood flowing. Can you imagine the scene? And Parshuram would have a parshu. Parshu means an axe. He would move that axe at such speed, it would be the speed of the mind. You can't even see how he's moving it. And when he would get tired, he would reduce the speed to the speed of the wind. In this way, he killed all the Kshatriyas. And then it is explained that after killing all the Kshatriyas, he gave the entire earth to the Brahmanas in charity. Right? And then he took sannyas. He decided, I'll not do any more killing. So now he has given all the earth to the Brahmanas. So he doesn't have a place for himself. That is where he throws his parshu in the ocean, and the ocean recedes. And this entire Konkan belt, Goa and all this belt is formed. This is called Parshuram Kshetra. And Parshuram sits and meditates in this area, basically. So all this Konkan area is by the mercy of Parshuram. He created this just by throwing his axe. So this is this very beautiful avatar, beautiful, scary but beautiful avatar of Parshuramji. And then you have Lord Ram. Now, very soon is Ram Navami next week. Vitarasi dikshu rane dikpati kamaniyam dashamukha maulam balim ramaniyam keshava dhruta rama sharira jaya jagadisha hare. He is offering obeisances to Lord Ramachandra, who went to Lanka and destroyed Ravan, right? And he offered the 10 heads of Ravan to the 10 different demigods and pleased all of them. So this is the great avatar of Lord Ramachandra, who killed Ravan. And then you have Balaramji. Vahasi vapushi vishade vasanam jaladabam halahati bhita milita yabunabam keshava dhruta haladara rupa jaya jagadisha hare. So Balaramji is also called Haladar because he has a hal. You can see in this picture, he has a plow in his hand. Right? So Balaramji actually represents Adi Guru, Guru Tattva. So with a plow, you plow the field, you make the field fertile so that you can sow the seed. So similarly, Guru's role is to make our heart fertile so that the seed of bhakti can be sown. So the Guru prepares our heart for Krishna to come. So Balaramji has this role to prepare everyone's heart for the appearance of the Lord. So this is the avatar of Balaramji, right? And it is explained here. He is wearing a blue colored dress, right? This is the feature of Balaramji. And then you have the avatar of Buddha. Nindasi yagya vider aha shruti jatam sadaya hridaya darshita pashu ghatam keshava dhruta Buddha sharira jaya jagadisha hari. So Lord Buddha, he has great compassion in his heart. Sadaya hridaya darshita pashu ghatam. Because of great compassion, when he saw that people were unduly killing animals in the name of Vedic sacrifice, Gomed Yagya, Ashwamed Yagya, the Lord felt compassion for these animals also. So the Lord is compassionate to every living entity. So he comes as Buddha and he tells everyone, stop animal killing. Ahimsa hi paramo dharmo. So this is a very beautiful avatar of Buddha. And then finally, at the end of Kali Yuga, there is this avatar of Kalki. Mlecha nivahai nidane kalayasi karavalam Dhumaketum iva kim api karalam Keshava drita kalki sharira jaya jagadisha hari. So at the end of Kali Yuga, when there will be hardly devotees left, everyone will be demons, the Lord will come as Kalki and he will sit in his horse on this carrier called Deva Datta, and the Lord will go with a sword and kill everyone, and he will end Kali Yuga so that the fresh Satya Yuga can start. So this is the avatar of Kali Yuga, of Kalki. So Jaydev Goswami explains that anyone who recites all these, remembers about these avatars and recites this poem, such person gets auspiciousness also and happiness also. Shrunu Shukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram. So one gets the essence of this world just by hearing about the avatars. So this very beautiful song of Jaydev Goswami is an opportunity for us to be grateful to the Lord who has come in the form of these various avatars. See, only in this land of India, in the land of in our Sanatan Dharma, we have access to so many different avatars. You have choice. You can choose which avatar suits you. You know which avatar you are attracted by, and you can hear those pastimes. There is so much variety. Each of these avatars, if you get into their pastimes, there is so much to discuss. So one of the reasons of the Lord's appearance is that Lord is giving us topics to discuss. He's coming again and again in various forms, and he's giving us various topics to discuss, various kathas to discuss. So if you have observed very carefully, in this Dashavatar Stotra by Jaydev Goswami, there is no mention of Krishna. Krishna is not mentioned here. Why? Because Krishna is not considered to be avatar. He is considered to be an avatari. It is from him whom all the avatars come. Therefore, Jaydev Goswami doesn't include Krishna in the list of Dashavatar. So these are the Leela avatars. But actually, this is just a little, only the 10 Leela avatars. But actually, there are many more. If you open the pages of the Bhagavatam, I think the first canto, the third chapter of the first canto, there are the list of various avatars, scheduled incarnations, various avatars of the Lord. Nar, Nara and Rishi. So in Badrikashram, the same Lord, Krishna and Arjuna, previously they were known as Nar Narayan. They were doing austerities there. So they are the ashram in which they did austerities is still present. So the Lord comes to show us the path of austerity. How as human beings we should perform some tapasya. So this is Nar Narayan Rishi. Then there is this avatar of Mohini during the Samudra Manthan Leela. Then Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is also there. This also comes, Dhanvantari also appears during the Samudra Manthan Leela only, carrying the nectar. So he is considered to be the god of Ayurveda. So you go to any Ayurvedic college or hospital, you will definitely find a deity of Dhanvantari having nectar in his hand. Then Kapil Dev. So Kapil Dev come as the son of Kardama Muni and Devahuti, and he's teaching his mother Devahuti Sankhya Yoga. So Sankhya Yoga is the same basic principle of Bhagavad Gita only, how to detach oneself from the material world, what is material world, what is matter, what is spirit, all the differences he explains very beautifully. This comes in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then there is Rishabhadev. Rishabhadev is also one of the avatars of the Lord. He teaches perfect king, how a king should rule perfectly. And when he reaches the age of 50, he retires, hands his kingdom over to his sons, headed by Bharat Maharaj, and he goes in the forest and does great austerity. So Rishabhadev is the one from whom the Jain religion starts. So they considered him to be the first Tirthankar. So the Jains, they perform great kinds of austerity. So Rishabhadev, when it was summer, he would light fire around himself and stand in between. And in winter, he would go in ice cold water and stand and do austerities. Right. So this is the avatar of Rishabhadev. Then Dattatreya. Dattatreya is also the avatar of the Lord. And then there are many other avatars also. So this list comes in the Bhagavatam. So these are called Leela avatars. And in fact, the Bhagavatam explains that just like there are waves in the ocean, that many avatars of the Lord are there. Unlimited avatars. We can't even imagine how many avatars are there. So these are the list of the Leela avatars. The next category is called the Manvantara. So in one day of Brahma, every day of Brahma is called one kalpa. So day means 12 hours. 12 hours of Brahma is called one kalpa. So one kalpa of Brahma has 14 manus. And in every manu, there is an avatar of the Lord who is called Manvantar. So 12 hours of Brahma, half a day of Brahma or 1 day of Brahma is divided into 1000 yuga cycles. So one yuga cycle, one Divya Yuga consists of Kali, Dwapar, Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta and Satya. Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali is one Divya Yuga. Such 1000 Divya Yugas make 12 hours of Brahma. So how is this 1000 divided? It is divided into 71 Yuga cycles. So 71 Yuga cycles. In each Yuga cycle, 71 Yuga cycles into 14. If you do this calculation, 71 into 14, you will come to the figure of almost 1000. So that's how Brahmaji's half a day is divided. That means 71 Yuga cycles make 1/14th of the day of Brahma. So there are 14 divisions of Brahma's day, each consisting of 71 Yuga cycles. And this period is called one Manu, right? And in each of this period, in this 14 cycles, there are 14 Manvantars that come. So the list comes in the Bhagavatam. In the first time of Manu, in the first Manu, the Lord comes as Yajna. In the second Manu, the Lord comes as Vibhu. Then he comes as Satyasen. So these are the names of the various Manvantars. Then he comes as Hari, Vaikunta, Ajita, Vamana, Sarvabhoma, Anaba, Vishwakshena, Dharmasetu, Sudama, Yogeshwara, Brihadbanu. These are the various Manvantars. So the Lord appears to assist Manu in his rule over mankind. Correct? Then there is Gunavatar. So Gunavatar means we know that there are 3 gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. And each of these gunas are ruled over by one god, one of the avatars of the Lord called Gunavatar. So Brahmaji is responsible for Rajoguna, right? And then Shiva is responsible for Tamoguna and Vishnu for Sattva Guna. So these are called the Gunavatars. And this also, it is explained in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu that Brahma is a living entity like all of us, but Brahmaji is like a super qualified living entity and he has 50 qualities in a greater quantity than all of us. So this is the maximum that any living entity can achieve. 50 qualities, that too not in full. But Brahma has the maximum any living entity can attain. So that means anyone who attains maximum of these 50 qualities will get the post of Brahmaji. But Shiva has 5 qualities more than Brahma, 55 qualities. And Vishnu has 5 qualities more than Shiva. He has 60 qualities. But then it is explained that Krishna has 4 qualities more than even Vishnu. These 4 qualities are Venu Madhurya, Leela Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, and Prema Madhurya. Krishna plays the celebrated flute, which Vishnu doesn't play. And through the flute only, the Lord achieves so many things. And then pastimes of the Lord, Leela Madhurya. The pastimes of Krishna are enchanting even for Vishnu. In fact, there is this pastime once when Krishna and Arjuna were in Dwarka. Vishnu wanted to see Krishna. So he steals the children of the Brahmanas, and Krishna goes with Arjuna to Karana Sagar, and Mahavishnu has darshan of Krishna. So even Vishnu is attracted to the beauty of Krishna. So that is the beauty of Krishna, and even the pastimes. The pastimes of Krishna are more sweet than the pastimes of Vishnu. And then finally, Prema Madhurya. The love, the reciprocation of love between Krishna and these devotees are more sweet than the reciprocation of love between Vishnu and his devotees. Right? So this is how Krishna is the supreme person of Godhead. In fact, in the Bhagavatam, where the list of all the various avatars comes, after explaining all the list, Sutta Goswami explains, Ete cha amshakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is that supreme person of Godhead. And the next category of avatar is called Shaktavesh avatar. So Shaktavesh avatar means sometimes a living entity is empowered by the Lord to perform a certain role. This is called empowered incarnations. Sometimes a living entity is empowered, or sometimes the Lord only comes to perform these roles. So there are 7 types of Shaktavesh avatar. One is called Swa Sevana Shakti, Sheshanag. Ananta Shesh is considered to be Shaktavesh avatar, who is doing service, Swa Sevana. He is serving himself. The Lord only comes as Ananta Shesh and he is serving the Lord. He becomes the bed of the Lord. Bhudharana Shakti, Ananta De. The same Ananta, he becomes, he is holding all the universes on his head. It's called Bhudharana Shakti. Right? So the gravity that we experience is because the Lord is holding all the universes on his head. And then there is Srishti Rachana Shakti. Lord Brahma is considered to be Shaktavesh. He is carrying out the secondary creation function. And then Jnana Shakti, Chatushkumara, the 4 sons of Brahma, they are personification of Jnana Shakti. And then Bhakti Shakti is Narad Muni. He is the personification of Bhakti. And then Palana Shakti, Prithu Maharaj. This is one of the avatar of the Lord. He is like a perfect king. Palana Shakti. And then Parshuram that we saw, Dushta Damana Shakti. So these are considered to be the various Shaktavesh avatar. Okay? And then there is Yuga avatar. So there are 4 yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. In every yuga, there is a yuga dharma, the way in which one can attain perfection. And to teach that yuga dharma, the yuga avatar comes. So in Satya Yuga, the yuga avatar is Hamsa. He comes and teaches the yuga dharma for Satya Yuga. And then there is Yagya. In Treta Yuga, the yuga avatar is Yagya. He comes and starts the process of Yagya, which is the yuga dharma for that age. And then Dwapar Yuga, the yuga avatar is also Krishna. And in Kali Yuga, the yuga avatar is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he starts the Sankirtan movement. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also called Channa avatar. Channa avatar means hidden incarnation. So that's why most people are not aware of the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's called Channa avatar, hidden avatar. So why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hidden avatar? Because the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is easy to imitate. Right? Because he performed pastimes like a devotee, it is easy to imitate. So therefore the Lord chose to be a Channa avatar. He didn't show himself as the Supreme Lord. He showed himself as a devotee so that people don't imitate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But SRIMAD Bhagavatam and many places describe how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Person of Godhead. Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam Sango Pangarsa Parshadam Yagye Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. It is explained that in Kali Yuga, the Lord will come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and start the Sankirtan movement. And those who are intelligent will worship this Lord. And Narad Puran also explains, Garud Puran also explains. Right? So we will stop at this point. We will continue the discussion. There are a few more slides on this topic of avatar. Probably we can continue this the next time. We'll stop here. Anyone has any questions, any comments till what we discussed? Any questions, any comments? You all can raise your hand. Okay. If no questions, yeah. Yes, Alpana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Very clear and good explanation about the avatars. I just am confused. Just wanted to clarification.
Yes.
These 9 avatars are of Bhagwan Vishnu avatars, or the Matsya avatar and all these Vaman avatar and are of which god?
Avatar means Vishnu only.
Vishnu's avatar. Okay.
There is nothing as Brahmaji's avatar. There is nothing as Shiva's avatar. Avatar means refers to Vishnu only.
Vishnu avatars. All these 9.
Yes.
Okay. And you also
all
said
this 9, all the 10 plus all the other avatars that we mentioned. All the categories of avatars refer to Vishnu only.
Vishnu avatars. Okay. And when the Matsya avatar was there, that was when the universe started, no? So was it in Satyuga or before Satyuga, Prabhuji?
So Matsya avatar, it comes during the time of Pralay. So what happens is after every yuga, so when there is change of the entire set of yuga, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali, after Kali Yuga there is a Pralay, so that the next Satya Yuga starts. So there are different kinds of Pralay. One Pralay happens at the end of one Divya Yuga. After Kali Yuga, before the next Satya Yuga, there is one Pralay. There is one Pralay that happens after every 71 Yuga cycles. After the day of Manu, there is one Pralay. And there is a Pralay that happens after the day of Brahma. After 12 hours of Brahma, after 1000 Yuga cycles, there is one Pralay that happens. So Matsya avatar comes at one of these pralays when there is inundation of the entire universe. That time he comes to save the Vedas also, and there is another pastime that he comes to save a king called I think Satyavrata king, and the few sages he comes to save all of them. Yeah, that is the Matsya avatar.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else has any other questions? Any